I want to learn. I will need a license to speak very good English.英語, American English. Good American English. If you are new to this channel, my name is Matthew. I make weekly videos on accent reduction. So if you're interested in any of this stuff, then consider subscribing. Today we're going to focus on how to go into an American accent. We're just going to focus on 3 sounds, 3 tips. First step, let's take a look at the L sound, which changes, which you should be focusing on. So the L sound in international English or British English, it is very light, meaning, let's look at some words. Actually. So if I were to say actually, the L sound is very light. So to make the L sound, the tongue, here, let me show you my technology. This is my vowel chart. So I'm going to turn my head like this. And here you can see this is the shape of your mouth, and it shows you what the tongue positions for certain sounds. So to make the l sound, I would zoom in so you can get a better view of this. Super zoom, ta-da. And here you can see that to make the L sound, the tongue must go up, which is essentially what happens here. So, okay, now you have a blue tongue. I always joke with my students and I say, you have a blue dragon tongue. That's what my Chinese students like to hear. Blue dragon. Oh, it's not blue, it's pink today. Okay, pink. So, let's say your alveolar ridge, which is the space between, it's the space where your teeth meet your gum. That's where your tongue has to extend to for you to make the sound L, right? So it goes up like that. It's a little big purple tongue. But if you say with a British or international accent, if you say actually, your tongue, here's your tongue, actually, it just touches here a little bit. But, so it's a very light L. However, with an American accent, if you say actually, your tongue lingers just a little longer and kind of dominates in your mouth. So, actually. So without the chart, actually. British English, actually. So you can feel your tongue, the tip of your tongue, actually bounce off. Actually. Close your eyes if you need to, so you can become more mindful of your tongue bouncing off. Actually, he went to the cinema. American English, actually. So it's more of a lazy tongue with American English. Actually, it's a dark L sound, so it kind of sticks. Actually, he went to the movies, because we don't say cinema. All right, so that's the L sound. Let's take a look at other L sounds. We have apparently. British English or international English, we say apparently. But with American English, we say apparently. So the tongue is much more sticking toward the alveolar ridge. Apparently, and retracts back into the middle of the mouth. Along is the same. He went along with the plan. American English, we say he went along. He went along. So you hold on to that L sound a bit more longer. Okay, so that's the L sound you should be aware of if you want to morph into an American accent. Next sound is the R sound. So R articulation. So in British or international accents, we drag out the sound. So we don't really pronounce the R sound. We just say car. He took a car to work. He took a car. We don't pronounce it. Bear. There was a big bear in the woods. He set off the alarm with his arm. But with American accent, we're going to pronounce an R. Rule of thumb is that if you see an R, you will pronounce the R. Not always, but this is a rule of thumb. So you would say car, R. Now I want you to notice one thing, that when you learn accents, it is important to delineate, to separate what you see. So you need to focus. There's too much focus on the face is not good. You just want to focus on my mouth. And so I'm going to show you something here. Here is my, okay, let's use this. It's a bit cheesy, but it's going to work because I will super zoom so that you can just see my mouth. And I want you to notice, tell me one thing. How many movements are there when I say car and the British car? How many times does my mouth move? How many movements are there? Car, R, twice, right? There's 2 movements. R. But with the British English, if you drag out that sound, how many times does my mouth move? Car, ah. I have a car once. So that is an important distinction, that there is only 1 movement and 2 movements in American English. Okay, let's get this knot hole out of the way. So that's the R sound. Let's practice with more words with R. Bear, arm, alarm, hardest, worn. I want it more and more. I want it more and more. The more I do it, the more I want it. The more I do it, the more I want it. So there's 2 mouth movements. So that's the R articulation. Third step or third tip is the T articulation. This one is very interesting because let's take the British better. You did much better in the test. You did much better. But in American English, listen, he did much better. He did much better in the test this week. He did much better. Do you hear a T sound or a D sound? Better. So you actually say better. Also with bottom, from the bottom to the top. We don't say bottom to the top, we say bottom. So the T morphs into a D sound. Interesting. However, there are exceptions which you just have to know by intuition. For example, when you say the last T sound, if the T is on the last consonant sound of a word, then you won't even say it, just kind of disappears. Take the word white, for example. What color is it? The zebra is black and white. The zebra is black and white. But in American English, we say the zebra is black and white. We don't quite pronounce the T. It kind of gets the top half of the mouth and it just suspends there. It just hangs there. White. Other words, bite, flight. When's your flight? I have a flight with United Airlines. When's your flight? Not when's your flight. When's your flight? The snake took a big bite. The snake took a big bite. I don't quite pronounce the T. So there you go. To summarize, these are the 3 tips. Please give me a thumbs up. That's going to help me a lot. And see you in the next video. So here's a ninja tip. What you can do is if you're on a Mac, you want to highlight a sentence like this in your web browser, whatever, and you want to press Option Escape, and it's going to play back with an American accent. If your setting is set to an American accent, the sentence you just highlighted. And so if we play this back, it's going to read something like this. This isn't surprising sense. So do you hear the T in this isn't? This isn't surprising. No, you don't hear it. So in this way, you can really practice on the particular sounds in American English. And you can try to replicate what you just heard, so you can try to match as much as possible what a standard American English sounds like. Thanks for watching.